What if I tell you that half part of the image that is there on the screen is a clear depiction of the current state of Indian badminton? And I'm not talking about the poor form of Lakshya Sen and PV Sindhu. I'm talking about Indian badminton at the grassroots level. So just a couple of days ago, India won a historic bronze in the mixed team event at the World University Games in Germany. But then it was just a mini achievement because all players could not really take part in that particular tournament due to a systemic irregularity that was committed by the Indian officials at the AIU, which is the Association of Indian Universities for all such sports. Well, 50% of the badminton players, they were denied recognition at the World University Games. So a total of 12 players were chosen, but then only 6 could take part in the badminton tournament, primarily because the officials, the relevant stakeholders at the AIU, they could not really submit all the names properly for that particular tournament. Yes, that's right. You actually read it right, that they could not really submit all those names. Now, it massively impacts the athletes' future here. And how does it really do it? Because all these athletes who take part in the World University Games, they become part of the Sports Ministry's government resolution. And when that really happens, and let's say they win all those medals at the World University Games, they get all those cash rewards, the job quotas, and at the very same time, it streamlines their future. Now imagine the 12 athletes, out of which 6 could not really take part in the World University Games. They would be denied of Sports Ministry's government resolution. No cash rewards, no job quotas, and at the very same time, the future would not really be streamlined. Rather, it would really be bleak. And how did it really happen? Just because a few officials, they could not really submit all the names correctly. Now, a source who is associated with this kind of a story, he said one thing, that the players who hadn't attended trials were there. Also, they did not declare which player would play singles, doubles, etc. So what do these relevant stakeholders were doing in that particular meeting then? Were they, just having a good time, just among themselves, or at the very same time, they should have done something important so that all the 12 players would have been able to take part in the tournament. And for that matter, they could not really clarify, or for that matter, they could not distribute as to who would play singles, doubles, or mixed doubles. Now, these are the kind of errors that are really stopping Indian badminton to have more and more players who can actually excel at the international level. We do have the likes of PV Sindhu, Lakshya Sen, but at the very same time, you do not have that plethora of talent. And why doesn't it really come? It's because of such kind of errors that have been committed by some of the officials at AIU, and Badminton Association of India has to be responsible. They have to come up and need to take those relevant steps so that it does not happen in the future. And some of the athletes who have been impacted by this, they have also come forward and shared their side of the story and their frustration, wherein one of them is Alisha Khan, who could not take part in the World University Games. She said on social media that it's not just mismanagement, it is total career sabotage. We demand answers, we demand accountability from both BAI and AIU. And another athlete who did not get to play there, Darshan Pujari, he said an apology cannot suffice. It has caused significant emotional distress to the affected athletes here. Now let's talk about cricket. It's being taken care of very well at the grassroots level from under 14, 16, 19. We talk about the likes of Vaibhav Suryavanshi. They have been given all those facilities. There are no schoolboy errors. There are no systemic irregularities. And that's why he has been able to make a name for himself, not just in under 19 level, but also at the level of the Indian Premier League. And who knows, maybe in a couple of years' time, he would be ready to play for the Indian cricket team. Now, what do we talk about badminton and other sports in India? Well, less said the better, but then how do you really stop these irregularities? Well, maybe have someone who is very serious about their job and not someone who really failed to submit all the names correctly, and at the very same time it destroys the future of such young athletes. So what do you think about the blunder that has been committed by the relevant officials at the AIU as far as the World University Games are concerned? Tell us your thoughts in the comment section, and don't forget to subscribe to Sports Today.